So, Georg Greve, founding president of the Free Software Foundation Europe, and currently working on liberating one of the 3 columns of the professional world, as he said to me. The browser is done, Office is quite good, but Groupware is still lagging behind. So you founded KolabSys together with a couple of other people, and you're trying to bring free Groupware to everyone who needs it. Tell us a little more about that. Kolab?
Sure. Hey Jos, first of all, thanks for the nice interview. It's fun. So Kolab is, as you said, a Groupware solution. So that means it does the usual email, calendar, address book, task lists, and so on and so forth. And it's one of the few solutions that is actually 100% free software. So it actually arrives at the user with 100% freedom. You can run your own, all the packages are there, all the sources are there. Everything is preferably under strong copyleft because we want to make sure that what we build lasts longer than just one company or any particular user. The big advantages of Kolab, which goes back to a project of the BSI, which is the German Federal Office for Information Security in Germany, are that it has a very security-aware design. It's highly modular, extremely scalable, up to millions of users if you want. I mean, we just finished our latest release, which is Kolab 3. That has now a full focus on things like private clouds, but also public clouds if you want to. So you can scale this up as far as you want. It comes with an awesome web interface, which is based on RunCube. The RunCube guys were so kind to start working with us. So we're actually a very active member of the RunCube community. The versions 0.7, 0.8, and the upcoming release were all based on our work already. And we are working very strongly with Cyrus, which is our primary IMAP server in the background. But just today, in fact, one of our community members has published a little how-to on how to use Dovecut as the backend for Kolab. So virtually every component in Kolab can be swapped in and out. They're all network based, which means you can distribute your server over as many servers as you want. And that makes it a very nice choice to play with. And on top of that, it's based on open standards. It has multiple clients. You can hook up your mobile phone through ActiveSync. You have Contact as of version 4.9 supporting version 3 of the format and so on and so forth. Thunderbird works very nicely with also Lightning. You have the SyncColab connector, which gives you full offline capability on that client as well. And virtually any client that has some form of IMAP support or can parse XML such as XCal, XCard formats, which we use internally for storage in Kolab 3, is very easily hooked up to Kolab, which means you have a very vast choice of platforms and capabilities in the end, and it's very nice to extend lots of toy potential, if you will.
Okay, so Kolab, flexible, scalable, open standards, but that last point is important to you, right? I mean, what's so important about that, the openness?
Well, so I believe that freedom or openness, as these days the debate is often around, is central to virtually everyone in the IT world and anyone making use of IT, and that is virtually everyone in most of the countries we usually deal with, obviously. And there's still a lot of people not on the internet, but once you come on the internet, once you start using technology, these issues become very important to you, and they shape society in a very fundamental way. So this is very central to me from the beginning, starting with my work with the Free Software Foundation Europe. And I essentially now push it forward on the Groupware domain because, simply put, Groupware hasn't been all that innovative over the past decade or so. And what we see today is a lot of Groupware solutions that primarily seem to see Windows as the future of the Linux desktop. They're all having a Linux server somewhere in the background, but in the end, they all cater to Outlook. Outlook is catered to Windows. It usually also comes in a licensing bundle with Office, which actually hinders Office adoption, like the LibreOffice or OpenOffice adoption, because for many users they say, well, this is just additional cost. I already have a license since I'm using Outlook. So by catering to Outlook, you're actually creating a blocker for Office adoption on all platforms in the end, or rather locking it into Windows. So you're staying in the Microsoft realm, then you're often using SharePoint and so on and so forth, and that creates a lock-in that is extremely effective. So we realized pretty early on, in fact, that we had to do something about liberating that last pillar or column of the professional world, because there's 3 killer applications for migrating any business administration, whatever have you. And that is obviously the browser, but the browser is quite good these days. I mean, we have quite a bit of choice in the browser and they work really, really well. The Office, which does the job, but fights with some arbitrarily created format issues and so on and so forth. There's still things going on in that realm that make that fight not yet as decided as the browser one. And then there is the Groupware side, which right now is not doing as well as it should be doing, which is why I say it's the third puzzle piece. But if any of those 3 fails, the whole migration scenario fails, and we've seen this multiple times now with attempts to move to free software platforms, also move towards the free software desktop is entirely impossible as long as we cannot address all 3 areas professionally. And that is why we said, okay, if no one else does it, we have to do it. So we created Kolab Systems to re-energize and revitalize Kolab, which has been around for a while. We now pushed out the latest version and now are pushing this into the market, since this is the way in which we can address that 3rd column without locking users further into Outlook and just saying, all right, we give up on the desktop. It's all going to be Windows forever. We just don't care anymore and we give up. We think that's not the attitude we should be.
So you're actually trying to secure or help Linux on the desktop by taking care of an important server side part, by making it possible for Linux to take over the desktop. That's interesting strategic view on the whole thing.
Yes, we liberate the users by liberating the server first, but in a way that it enables multiple desktops. We are the most multi-platform Groupware as well, because ultimately we can provide Groupware clients for any form of platform that you have, start being it Windows, Mac OS, or GNU Linux in the end. We also look at the mobile side of things. We have a native client for Migo, for instance. Now Migo may no longer be the Groupware, the Groupware base, but also the mobile platform that you're looking at. But our technology, in fact, allows us to bring it into any sort of form factor. We've deliberately made choices for the technology that enable that story to make it possible to move wherever this whole technology moves. So we just see any device, be it a mobile phone or be it a laptop, be it a desktop, be it your smart home, whatever. It's ultimately a client to us, or a desktop, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. And so we want to be as multi-client as we can be, building technology that allows us to serve all of these scenarios.
So at the conference you will have 2 talks. You will have one about Kolab, where you go a little deeper into the technology and demo some of it. And you'll have a talk about the freedom side of things, right? So talking about that, that's part of the future media track, and it is very much about the future, right? So what will be your message to the visitors of the conference there?
Well, since you drafted me for that talk, ultimately the focus on that talk will be for people who are currently not that deep in IT. And the question is, why does this matter? Why does software freedom matter to me? Because a lot of people, when they hear about it the first time, go, yeah, but my Windows machine works just fine. I can do whatever I want to do. Why does this matter? And what I will try to go into a bit in my talk is the perspective of why you should care, why software freedom is important to you, and why things that you cannot control and you are not allowed to understand can actually control you in a way that is sometimes very subtle but infinitely powerful. I mean, it will incorporate some of the elements from Lawrence Lessig, who said code is law, and some other references in there about why is this important. So if you are a hardcore free software advocate, maybe this is not the talk for you, or maybe you want to see how other people advocate that is possible. But in the end, this is more about for people who've never been in touch with this or who are new to our community to get an idea of why does this matter? Why are we doing this? And why are the people who are working on this so important for all of film society?
Okay, so that's a talk where especially new people definitely need to go to. Wonderful. I look forward to it, Georg. Thank you very much for the interview.
You're very welcome. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Prague. Although actually, we will see each other in Berlin next week.
Yes, we will. Okay, hey.
Take care.
Okay. So, that marks the end of my interview of Georg. He's a great guy, also a great speaker, and you really do yourself a disservice if you don't go and watch him at the conference in Prague. He will talk on Saturday the 20th of October at 4 o'clock in the Future Media track, and on Sunday he will go deeper into the internals of Kolab in the morning from 11 to 12:30. I suggest you put it in your agenda. So this event brings together 4 different conferences in one location. There's a local LinuxDays with a lot of Czech sessions. The 4th International openSUSE conference, where contributors of this awesome distro, plan for the future. The first Gentoo mini conference, it's where you can learn all about this interesting source-based distribution. And there's the SUSE Labs meetup, where a lot of highly specialized engineers talk about the guts of the Linux operating system. So networking, memory management, file systems, boot infrastructure, those kind of things. So I look forward to seeing you there. I suggest you book a trip and a hotel if you haven't done so already, and of course register. You can visit us on bootstrapping-awesome.org. Thanks for watching, have a lot of fun.